Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use the ordinary hyaluronic acid and the ordinary vitamin C suspension together. Now this may sound very simple as you're only going to use two products. However, when using the hyaluronic acid and then later on the vitamin C on top, you can come across a problem, and the application itself can be very tricky as you feel like it's not going to blend properly and it's more like sitting on top, and you have troubles that it also is going to soak into the skin. Well, I'm going to share with you now the whole process when washing the face and also the application of those two products, so that you're making sure that this problem won't happen again and you also will achieve a great application without any issues. So first of all, I just want to mention the general rule of thumb again so that you know in what order you have to apply it. Well, we're going to start off with water-based serum, such as the hyaluronic acid. Then you're going to move on to any anhydrous solutions and oil formulations, and then you're going to finish it off with any creams and suspensions. So with this in mind, you also will notice that you're going to apply the hyaluronic acid, which is a water-based serum, at first, and then you're going to use the vitamin C suspension afterwards. Now, before you're going to move on to the application, it's also important to start off with step number 1, which is always washing your face with a gentle cleanser. Now I'm going to use the ordinary squalane cleanser. If you want to use a different one, make sure to read the directions on how you should use this cleanser, as sometimes, as in this case, you have to apply the cleanser on dry skin and then rinse it off with water on wet skin. So I'm going to start off with cleansing the face. So after you have massaged in your cleanser onto your face and neck area, you now can go ahead, if you have a cleanser that needs to be rinsed off, to also rinse it off with water. If you want to use in between a fresh cloth which you're going to wet to also help you to remove the cleanser, then you can do so. Really make sure that you're getting everything off, that there is no residue of your cleanser before moving on to the next step. And now go ahead and take a fresh towel and pat the skin dry. So now I can move on to the first step, which is also using the hyaluronic acid. Now I'm going to show you two ways on how you can do this. The first one is how you can properly layer them, and that you also can basically avoid this issue that it feels weird on the skin and that you can't really properly blend it into the skin. So with the hyaluronic acid, I highly recommend that you're going to use less. Like use around 1 to 3 drops. For me, 2 drops are just fine, to really make sure that the hyaluronic acid can soak into the skin, that you have no residue also on your skin left. So that you're really making sure that everything is nicely soaked into the skin. And now you're also going to pat it onto your skin. Just make sure that you're covering every area as well as your neck area. And just give it a moment so that you can also feel that it's going to sink into the skin and that there's no residue left on top of the skin, which is really important before moving on to the next step. So in this case, it's really important, less is more. So, and after you have applied it evenly all over your face and neck area, it should feel dry. It shouldn't feel like a sticky residue. You shouldn't shine all over your face. You shouldn't have any leftovers. It really should sink into the skin. And now you can also move on to the ordinary vitamin C suspension. Now, if you're having an issue when also using the vitamin C suspension, it more so happens with the one in silicone than with the one in hyaluronic acid. Either way, less is more. You don't need a lot of product, but you still can evenly apply it all over your face, and it still will be effective. When using also the vitamin C suspension, doesn't matter in hyaluronic acid or the one in silicone, use about a pea-size amount for the entire face and neck area. That's enough. If you're going to use too much, it can't really work properly. Like you have too much on your skin that's left and can't really soak into the skin. And now apply it evenly all over your face and neck area. So as you can see, nothing is left on top of my skin. I don't have like a weird texture going on. It's going to be applied evenly all over my face. I have no residue, no little bits, nothing. It just works beautifully. And it's really important that you're going to use less. Doesn't matter with the hyaluronic acid or with the vitamin C suspension, use less. Use 1 to 3 drops of the hyaluronic acid, use a pea-size amount of the vitamin C suspension, and then you won't come across this issue because your skin is really able to also fully absorb the product and you won't be left with any residue on top of the skin. Now, this is now one way on how you can also properly layer it. Now I'm going to show you a second way also on my like hand and arm area, since I have it already on my face. And this is also to basically mix the hyaluronic acid with the vitamin C suspension. So if you want to use it all over your face and neck area, again, use around 1 pea-size amount of the vitamin C suspension. Like so. And then again, with the hyaluronic acid, use 1 to 3 drops and mix it with the suspension. So now you have those two in the palm of your hand, and now you can mix those two together. In some way you're going to dilute it, and also on the other hand you're going to mix those two together so that you won't come across this issue. Now, if you have properly mixed it, you can see that it turns into a really nice and creamy texture. And now you can go ahead and take that amount and then also apply it evenly all over your face and neck area. Of course, you now can also rub your hands together and then apply it so that you're not going to miss out on some product. But I'm going to show you now on the back of my hand. And you're really able to apply this one evenly over the skin. And nothing happens, like you are not coming across an issue where you have that strange pilling, it's not going to flake off, you won't have too much. It's just going to be like, kind of like a moisturizer that you're going to apply all over your face and neck area. And this is also a great way, if you still may have some problems when it comes to layering, then you can also mix those two together. Now, of course, if you're going to use this routine, like the hyaluronic acid and the vitamin C suspension in the morning, please also don't forget to use a good sunscreen as your last step to protect the skin when also being exposed to the sun. And if you're going to use it in the evening, there's no need to also wear sunscreen. So please make sure that depending on when you're going to use it, you're also going to protect your skin when being exposed to the sun. And other than that, this is what I wanted to share with you. Make sure that you have properly washed off your cleanser, that there's no residue. In this case, less is more, 1 to 3 drops of the serum, a pea-sized amount of your suspension. You can either layer it or mix it. Try it out and see how it's going to work on your skin to really make sure that you won't come across this issue again, because I know this can be really annoying. And to me, it only happened when I was using too much of it, so that my skin couldn't really absorb it. So this is also what I can share from my experience. I do hope that I could help you now with this issue and that it won't happen again. Now, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye!